The morning sunlight had shifted, painting the palace walls in soft orange and gold. Liam carried the twins from the playroom into a wider part of the palace, a hall filled with shimmering floors and floating lights. Mira held her glowing crystal tightly, and Taro had his small hovering ball tucked under one arm. The twins were full of energy, eager to explore. Liam smiled, adjusting the strap of his bag on his shoulder. "Today we will see something new." He signed to Mira and Taro. They looked up at him with wide eyes, their small hands moving to copy his gestures. Liam loved teaching them in this way. It was slow, but it worked. The twins learned more from patience and care than from any complicated device or lesson. The palace hall stretched before them, lined with exotic plants and mirrors that reflected light in thousands of colors. The twins ran ahead, their small feet making soft sounds against the polished floor. Liam followed, keeping a careful eye on them. He knew the palace could be dangerous if the twins were left alone. A single step in the wrong place could trigger a sensor or knock over a fragile display. Mira paused at a floating plant, shaped like a crystal star. Its leaves glimmered in green and blue, and Liam knelt beside her. He gently held her hands as she reached out. "Careful," he signed. Mira nodded and followed his guidance, touching the plant without hurting it. Taro watched and copied her movements. Liam laughed softly, feeling proud. Other palace staff moved past them, whispering quietly. Some looked surprised. No human had ever managed to handle the twins so easily. Tutors and officials had tried for years to get the twins to respond properly, but they failed. Liam did not rely on force or instructions. He relied on patience and understanding. That was something no machine or alien could replicate. The twins led Liam to a small fountain in the middle of the hall. The water glowed softly, and tiny fish with transparent fins swam through it. Taro reached out with his hand, and a small fish swam closer. Liam showed him how to move his fingers gently so the fish would not get scared. Mira clapped her hands and pointed at Liam, smiling with admiration. "You are clever, but careful," Liam signed. The twins giggled and copied his gestures. They had learned quickly. Their intelligence amazed him every day. But more than that, their ability to trust him was remarkable. After some time, Liam led the twins to the palace library. The library was vast, filled with books and data crystals from thousands of planets. The twins' eyes widened at the sight. They had never seen so many stories and pictures in one place. Liam smiled. "We will learn new things today," he signed. Mira and Taro copied him eagerly. Liam pulled a few simple books from a shelf. They had bright pictures and easy-to-understand symbols. He sat on the floor and opened a book about alien creatures from a distant planet. Mira leaned close, pointing at the pictures. Taro tapped the page with his small hand, making soft sounds of excitement. Liam explained slowly, using gestures and facial expressions. The twins followed every sign, learning and laughing. While Liam read, he noticed some palace officials observing from a distance. Their expressions were mixed. Some were curious, others skeptical. A human janitor teaching the royal twins was unusual. Even the smallest smile on Liam's face seemed to make the officials uneasy. They whispered to each other, their voices filled with concern. Liam did not notice. He was focused on the twins, showing them wonder and care. After the reading, Liam suggested a small game. He pulled out a floating ball and a few colored crystals. "Let's see who can make the crystals float in the air the longest," he signed. Mira and Taro jumped in excitement. They mimicked his gestures, learning to balance the crystals and keep them floating. Liam laughed softly as the twins experimented, making the crystals spin and dance. Hours passed quickly. The twins were learning, playing, and growing more confident. Liam watched them carefully. Their small faces lit up with joy, and he felt proud. He realized that these moments were more than fun. They were building trust, intelligence, and courage. The twins were becoming stronger and braver each day. He was the one guiding them. While they played, a small emergency alert sounded in the palace. Liam frowned. The twins' laughter stopped for a moment. It was a minor alert, but it meant someone had noticed unusual activity near the restricted area. Liam quickly led Mira and Taro away from the sensors. He kept his calm, showing the twins that there was nothing to fear. "You are safe with me," Liam signed. Mira nodded, holding his hand tightly. Taro followed closely, bouncing with excitement. Liam carried a small bag of tools, ready to fix anything that went wrong. He knew the palace could be unpredictable, but his focus was always on the twins as the day continued. Liam noticed that some palace staff were talking among themselves. They were watching how he handled the twins. Liam realized that the bond he had built with Myra and Taro was visible to others. The officials were surprised at the ease, patience, and love he showed. Liam did not care about recognition. His only goal was the twins' happiness. Suddenly, Mira pointed toward a small balcony overlooking the palace courtyard. A strange bird-like creature flew nearby, its feathers glowing in soft shades of pink and gold. Taro clapped his hands in excitement and tried to reach the creature. Liam moved quickly, holding the twins back. "Careful," he signed. "We will watch together." Right. The twins leaned against him, their trust evident. Liam watched the creature with them, explaining slowly using gestures and facial expressions. Mira and Taro copied his movements and mimicked his careful observations. Liam realized that these simple moments of curiosity were teaching them more than any lesson could. Later, Liam took the twins to a small workshop in the palace. It was a room filled with tools and gadgets, some very advanced. Liam had made small devices for the twins to explore. Today, he showed them how to build a tiny hovering robot. Mira and Taro followed his instructions closely. Liam guided their hands, demonstrating each step. The twins laughed when the robot moved, their faces lighting up with delight. Other palace staff peered in through the doorway. Some were impressed. Others were unsure. A human janitor creating joy and learning for the royal children was not what they expected. Liam did not notice. He was too focused on the twins' laughter, the movement of the robot, the joy in their eyes. As evening approached, Liam cleaned the workshop carefully. Mira and Taro helped in their small way, picking up tools and putting them in order. Liam smiled, proud of their eagerness. He signed, "You are learning so much today. I am proud of you." The twins copied him, their small hands moving with precision. When the sun began to set, Liam led the twins back to their playroom. Mira held her glowing crystal close. Taro clutched the small robot. Liam tucked them into their soft beds. "Rest now. Tomorrow will be another adventure," he signed. The twins smiled, copying his gestures. Liam kissed their foreheads gently and whispered, "I will be here when you wake." As Liam left the room, he noticed a shadow in the hallway. One of the palace officials was watching him closely. Liam felt a small twinge of concern. He knew the palace could be strict and unforgiving, but he also knew that the twins' happiness and growth were more important than anything else. He walked quietly through the palace corridors, finishing his janitor duties. The palace was alive with activity, but Liam's mind stayed with Mira and Taro. Their laughter, curiosity, and trust had made his day brighter. He realized again that being a human among aliens was not easy, but it was worth every challenge. Somewhere in the palace, unseen eyes continued to watch. Someone noticed the bond Liam had with the twins. Someone who could change everything was moving closer. Liam did not know it yet, but the day's events were only the beginning. The twins' growth, his care, and the palace's hidden observers would soon collide in ways he could never imagine. For now, Liam focused on the quiet moments. The twins were safe, happy, and learning, and that was all that mattered. He cleaned the final corridor, put away his supplies, and took a deep breath. He felt a quiet pride in the simple but powerful work he had done. The twins were thriving, and he was the human who had made it possible. The sun finally set, casting long shadows across the palace. Liam left the hall with a small smile. Mira and Taro slept soundly, their faces peaceful. The palace might be full of rules, technology, and protocol, but Liam knew something no one else did. Love, patience, and understanding could overcome anything. The bond between a human father and alien twins was growing stronger every day, and nothing in the palace could break it. The morning sun spilled through the palace windows, casting soft light on the grand halls. Liam walked carefully with his cleaning tools, moving from one corridor to another. The palace was waking up, and staff hurried to their tasks. But Liam's attention was on Mira and Taro. He knew that even in such a structured place, the twins' curiosity could lead them into trouble. Mira and Taro had woken early, excited to explore. Myra clutched her glowing crystal, and Taro held a small, hovering ball. They ran ahead of Liam, laughing and pointing at the walls, floors, and floating decorations. Liam kept his eyes on them, ready to guide them when needed. He had learned that watching the twins closely meant preventing accidents before they happened. The twins reached a large atrium filled with fountains and floating plants. The water shimmered in the sunlight, and delicate petals floated in the air. Mira pointed at a small, hovering light drone moving near the ceiling. She reached out to touch it. Taro jumped in excitement, trying to catch it with his small hands. Liam moved quickly to stop them. "Careful, Mira. Careful, Taro," he signed. The twins paused and looked at him. He smiled and showed them how to wave their hands slowly to guide the drone without touching it. Mira nodded, and Taro imitated her movements. Liam laughed softly. These little lessons made the twins happy and safe. Just as he thought the twins were under control, Taro's ball rolled across the floor and bumped into a panel on the wall. A soft alarm beeped. Liam's heart skipped a beat. It was a restricted area alarm. He hurried to the twins, kneeling to their level. "We need to go back now," he signed urgently. Mira and Taro looked confused but trusted him. Liam took their hands and led them away from the area. The twins walked closely, their small hands holding his firmly. He breathed a quiet sigh of relief. As they moved, palace staff began to notice. Whispers spread through the corridors. The twins had wandered near a restricted area, but Liam handled the situation calmly. Some staff exchanged worried looks. A human janitor managing the royal twins so carefully was unexpected. They had assumed the twins would cause trouble, or that Liam would fail. But he did not. After guiding the twins to a safe space, Liam pulled out a small tablet. He showed them pictures of safe areas in the palace and explained where they could play. Mira pointed to a garden with glowing flowers, and Taro tapped the page with excitement. Liam smiled, proud of how quickly they understood. "You are learning fast," he signed. Mira and Taro copied him, their small hands moving in perfect unison. Liam realized again how intelligent the twins were. The palace might be full of rules and strict protocols, but the twins' curiosity was stronger than any regulation, and he was there to guide them safely. Liam decided it was time to teach the twins a new game. He pulled out a few floating crystals and small tools. "We will build something together," he signed. The twins' eyes lit up. They followed his gestures, stacking crystals carefully and experimenting with small movements. Liam guided their hands when needed, showing them how balance and patience could create something new. Other palace staff watched silently. Some shook their heads in disbelief. They had never seen a human manage the royal twins so well. Liam did not notice. His focus was on the twins' joy, curiosity, and learning. The twins were laughing, experimenting, and learning lessons about patience, creativity, and care. Suddenly, Mira spotted a small door slightly open at the end of the hall. It led to a corridor Liam had never allowed the twins to explore. She pointed excitedly at it. Taro saw it too and ran toward it. Liam shouted and ran after them, heart pounding. He reached the twins just as Mira was about to touch the door. "Stop, Mira. Stop, Taro," he signed urgently. The twins paused, but did not fully understand the danger. Liam looked around. The corridor led to a restricted area filled with machinery and sensitive devices. One wrong step could trigger alarms or worse. Liam's mind raced. He could not let the twins wander into this area. He kneeled and took their hands firmly. "This way," he signed, guiding them back toward the hall. Mira resisted for a moment, her curiosity strong, but Liam remained calm and patient. He signed again, showing her a picture of a safe place with toys and plants. Mira's eyes softened, and she nodded. Taro followed. Liam breathed a sigh of relief as they returned to the main hall, Liam noticed palace officials arriving quickly. Their expressions were serious, and they exchanged urgent words. Liam realized that the twins' near miss had attracted attention. The officials approached him, their voices firm but not angry. "Human," one of the officials said, pointing toward the twins. "You allowed them near a restricted area. This is not permitted." Liam nodded respectfully. "I understand," he signed. "I was guiding them safely. They are learning about the palace and the world. I am careful." The officials looked at the twins. Myra and Tara were calm, happy, and safe. Their hands still held Liam's. The officials seemed surprised. They had expected panic, crying, or trouble. Instead, the twins were smiling, learning, and calm. Liam realized that his patience and understanding had not only kept the twins safe, but also impressed the observers. The officials exchanged glances, some nodding quietly. After the officials left, Liam took the twins to a quiet garden within the palace. The garden was filled with soft light, floating flowers, and gentle fountains. Mira and Taro explored carefully, touching plants and watching the water. Liam guided their hands, showing them the beauty and rules of the garden. "You see, this place is safe and fun," he signed. The twins copied him, their hands moving with joy and precision. Liam smiled, proud of their trust and curiosity. The palace was full of rules and strictness, but in this quiet garden he could teach them freely. As the afternoon passed, Liam noticed how much the twins had learned. Mira had figured out how to balance a small floating leaf on her hand. Taro had discovered a way to make the small fish in the fountain follow his movements. Liam guided them gently, showing them how to refine their skills. Other palace staff occasionally passed by, watching the twins with curiosity. Some whispered about Liam's unusual methods. They had never seen a human teach with patience, care, and love, rather than strict rules. Liam ignored the whispers. His focus was always on the twins. Their growth and happiness were more important than anyone else's opinion. By evening, the twins grew tired. Mira held her glowing crystal close. Taro hugged his small ball. Liam carried them back to their playroom. He tucked them into their soft beds, smiling as they copied his gestures. "Rest now. Tomorrow will be another adventure," he signed. The twins smiled back, her small hands moving perfectly. As Liam cleaned the hallways and polished the floors, he reflected on the day. The twins' curiosity had almost led them into danger, but his patience and guidance had kept them safe. More importantly, he realized that the palace could never fully understand what it meant to care for them. No rules, no machines, and no technology could replace the human touch. Somewhere in the palace, eyes watched quietly. Officials had noticed Liam's skill, patience, and bond with the twins. They whispered to each other, debating what to do. The human janitor had proven that he could guide and teach the royal children in ways no one else could. Some were impressed, others skeptical. Liam did not care about their opinions. His reward was the twins' trust and laughter. As night fell, Liam finished his duties. The palace lights shimmered softly, reflecting in the clean floors and crystal walls. Mira and Taro slept peacefully, their faces relaxed and happy. Liam looked at them, feeling proud and grateful. He had managed to keep them safe, happy, and learning. Even in a palace filled with rules, restrictions, and watchful eyes. For Liam, the day had been challenging but rewarding. He had learned more about the twins, about patience, and about how much a human could influence and guide others with care and love. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new discoveries, and possibly more danger. But Liam knew one thing. No matter the obstacles, he would protect the twins, teach them, and help them grow stronger. The palace was full of grandeur, technology, and power. But Liam knew that none of it mattered as much as patience, understanding, and the bond he shared with Mira and Taro. The day had been a reminder of his strength, courage, and human heart. The twins had learned, laughed, and trusted him, and that was worth more than anything else in the palace. The palace halls gleamed under the bright morning lights, polished to perfection by countless staff members. Liam moved quietly with his cleaning supplies, keeping an eye on Mira and Taro as they played with floating crystals in the wide atrium. The twins' laughter echoed softly against the high ceilings, filling the hall with life and joy. Liam smiled, feeling proud of how confident and curious they had become. Suddenly, a soft hum filled the air. Liam paused. The hum was different from the usual palace sounds. It carried authority, power, and presence. Mira and Taro noticed it too, tilting their heads curiously. Liam sensed something important was approaching. He looked toward the grand doorway at the end of the hall. The doors slowly opened, revealing a tall figure in shimmering robes. It was the alien queen. Her presence was commanding. Light seemed to bend around her as she walked gracefully into the atrium. Her eyes, large and glowing, scanned the hall. Everyone in the palace stopped what they were doing. Silence fell instantly. Liam froze for a moment, unsure if he should continue cleaning or step aside. The twins, however, did not run or hide. Mira held her glowing crystal close, and Taro kept his ball under his arm. They had seen Liam calm them through danger before, and they trusted him completely. Liam knelt slightly to put himself at their level, silently reassuring them. The queen's gaze fell on the twins first. She observed their playful movements, the joy in their eyes, and the way they interacted with Liam. Her expression softened slightly, though she remained regal and composed. Liam's heart pounded. He had never met the queen so close, and he knew her approval could change everything. Who is responsible for these children? She spoke in a calm, resonant voice. The words carried authority, but the twins could follow them in their own way. Liam signed quickly to them, showing that the queen had arrived and that they should stay calm. Mira and Taro nodded, watching the figure with curiosity rather than fear. I am. Liam signed respectfully, showing both the queen and the twins. His hands moved carefully, demonstrating confidence and care. The twins mirrored his gestures. The queen tilted her head, her eyes scanning Liam from head to toe. She seemed to study him, trying to understand this human who dared to guide and teach her children. Liam stood slowly, keeping his posture respectful. He spoke in his clear, gentle voice. Your Majesty, I am responsible for Mira and Taro's safety and learning. I guide them every day. They trust me, and I have taught them to explore safely and joyfully. The queen stepped closer, her glowing robes brushing lightly against the polished floor. She crouched slightly to bring herself closer to the twins' level. Mira and Taro watched carefully, unsure of how to react. Liam held their hands gently, ensuring they felt safe. You are teaching them patience, intelligence, and care, the queen said. Her voice was soft now, almost curious. No one in this palace has done this. You are human, yet you have earned their trust. Liam nodded humbly. I only want them to be happy and safe, he signed. I am careful, and I guide them every day. I do not interfere with the palace, only with their learning and growth. The queen observed the twins. Mira was balancing a small floating crystal, concentrating intently. Taro was experimenting with the water in a nearby fountain, making tiny ripples with his hands. Liam had guided them quietly, showing them the importance of gentle movements and observation. The twins' eyes shone with joy and confidence. You have accomplished what no one else could, the queen said. Her glowing eyes looked at Liam with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. The tutors and officials of this palace could not connect with them. You have done it with patience, care, and understanding. Liam bowed his head slightly. Your Majesty, it is not about teaching or orders. It is about trust, care, and respect. The twins learn best when they feel safe and loved. The queen nodded slowly. She stood fully and turned to glance at the staff in the hall. Many of them looked surprised, some unsure of what to do. The queen raised her hand slightly, signaling for silence. Leave us for now, she said. The staff bowed and exited quietly. Liam and the twins were alone with the queen. Liam knelt again, showing respect. Mira and Taro remained calm, their small hands holding his. The queen walked slowly toward them, her eyes examining every detail. She stopped a few steps away, and watched as Liam guided the twins through a small exercise with the floating crystals. He demonstrated balance, patience, and careful observation. The twins copied his gestures perfectly. The Queen's eyes softened further. "They respond to you as though you are one of us," she said quietly. "Yet you are human. Tell me, how have you earned their trust?" Liam smiled gently. "By listening, watching, and understanding them. By guiding them with patience and care. I do not demand. I do not force. I only help them grow, explore, and learn safely." He signed these words slowly for the twins to see. Mira and Taro copied his gestures, showing the Queen that they understood every word. The Queen nodded slowly, a small smile appearing. "I have never seen this before," she said. "My children trust you completely. They are happy, confident, and learning. You are not just a janitor. You are a teacher, a guide, and a protector." Liam felt a mix of pride and humility. He had never thought of himself as important in the palace. His role was simple: care for his children and keep them safe. But the Queen's words showed him that he had made a difference. He had bridged to worlds, the human world and the alien royal world. The twins looked up at the Queen with curiosity. Mira held her crystal closer and Taro clutched his ball. Liam signed gently to them, showing that the Queen was not a threat. The twins nodded. Relaxed and confident in his care, the Queen walked closer and extended her hand toward Liam. "You have shown me that humans can possess qualities that we sometimes forget: care, patience, understanding, and love. These are more powerful than any technology or rule in this palace." Liam bowed his head slightly, honored by her words. "Your Majesty." "I only do what any parent would do for their children," he signed. "I guide them, protect them, and teach them. I do not ask for recognition. Their happiness is enough." The Queen studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded. "You have proven yourself beyond expectation. I will not interfere with your care of the twins. In fact, I wish to recognize your work formally. You will continue to guide them not only in play, but in learning and growth. You will have access to any resources you need." Liam's heart swelled with gratitude. This recognition was more than he had ever hoped for. His simple acts of care had earned him respect from the highest authority in the palace. Mira and Taro sensed the change too. Their small hands held his firmly, showing trust and joy. "You are wise beyond your years, human," the Queen said. "You have shown me that even in a world of rules, technology, and protocol, a single person can make a difference through patience and love." Liam bowed deeply, feeling humbled. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will continue to do my best for Myra and Taro." The Queen turned her gaze to the twins. "And you, my children, have learned more than you realize. You have learned patience, observation, and the power of trust. You will grow strong and confident, guided by someone who cares for you deeply." Mira and Taro smiled, their small hands waving at the Queen. Liam signed to them, showing that it was respectful to respond. The twins copied his gestures perfectly. The Queen's smile widened slightly, a rare expression for someone of her rank. After a long moment, the Queen stepped back. "Continue your work, human. I will watch and see how the twins grow under your care. You have my trust and recognition." Liam bowed again. "Thank you, Your Majesty," he signed. The twins clapped their small hands, happy and excited, as the Queen exited the hall. Liam looked at Myra and Taro. "See, they trust you," he signed. The twins laughed, holding his hands tightly. Liam smiled, knowing that the bond between them had grown stronger that day. The palace might have rules, restrictions, and high expectations, but in this moment, love and care had triumphed. For Liam, the day had been unforgettable. The Queen's recognition was proof that humans could make a difference. Even in a world filled with advanced technology and strict protocol, he had guided the twins safely, taught them patiently, and earned the respect of the highest authority. And most importantly, Mira and Taro had learned to trust, laugh, and explore confidently. The palace seemed brighter after the Queen's visit. Even the staff who had watched earlier felt the change. Liam continued his duties quietly, polishing floors, cleaning corridors, and preparing the twins for the evening. But in his heart, he knew something had shifted. The Queen's words, her recognition, and her trust had confirmed what he had always believed. A single human, guided by care, patience, and love, could achieve extraordinary things. As the day drew to a close, Liam led Mira and Taro back to their playroom. He tucked them into their beds, smiling at their peaceful faces. Rest well. Tomorrow is another day of learning and adventure, he signed. The twins nodded and copied his gestures. Liam kissed their foreheads gently, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. That night, Liam walked through the quiet halls of the palace, reflecting on the Queen's visit. He realized that being a human in a palace full of aliens was not easy, but it was worth every challenge. He had proven that patience, care, and love could overcome even the strictest rules. The palace was quiet in the early morning, bathed in soft sunlight. Liam walked carefully with his cleaning supplies, moving through the grand corridors. Mira and Taro followed closely, carrying their favorite toys. The twins had grown confident and curious under Liam's care. Their laughter filled the palace halls. Today was different. Liam sensed a change in the air. The palace staff moved with extra attention, whispering quietly among themselves. Liam knew that the Queen's recognition yesterday had created ripples. The officials were curious, cautious, and perhaps a little nervous. But Liam did not worry. His focus was always on Mira and Taro. Their happiness and growth mattered more than palace politics. He led the twins to the courtyard. The glowing plants and floating fountains made the space feel magical. Mira and Taro ran ahead, exploring every corner. Liam watched closely, guiding their movements and ensuring their safety. Today, he wanted to teach them something new, a small challenge, to test their creativity and observation skills. He pulled out a few small floating crystals and tools. Today, we will build something together, he signed. Mira and Taro's eyes lit up with excitement. They carefully followed his instructions, stacking the crystals and experimenting with different arrangements. Liam guided their hands gently, showing them how balance and patience could create something stable and beautiful as they worked. Palace staff began to gather at the edges of the garden. They watched silently, curious about the human who could guide the royal twins so skillfully. Liam noticed the glances, but ignored them. His only concern was the twins' learning and safety. Mira and Taro laughed softly as they succeeded in keeping the crystals floating, proud of their small accomplishments. Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the courtyard. Liam looked up and saw the Queen approaching. She moved gracefully, her robes shimmering in the sunlight. The twins stopped briefly, watching her with curiosity. Liam signed to them, showing that the Queen was friendly. Mira and Taro nodded and continued their work. Confident in Liam's guidance, the Queen stopped a few steps away and observed. Her eyes followed every movement, the twins' careful hands, their laughter, and Liam's calm instructions. She smiled slightly, a rare expression for someone of her rank. "You have guided them well," she said, her voice calm and resonant. "They are learning patience, creativity, and observation. They are confident and happy. This is more than I expected." Odd. Liam bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, they are quick learners. I only show them how to explore safely and enjoy the process. Their happiness is my reward." The Queen nodded, studying him closely. "You have earned trust not only from the twins but from the palace itself," she said. "I have observed your patience, understanding, and care. Few humans would achieve this. You have proven that actions guided by love can surpass rules, technology, and status." Liam felt a quiet pride. He had never sought recognition, yet the Queen's words filled him with a sense of accomplishment. Mira and Taro glanced at him, their small hands reaching for his. Liam smiled and guided them to copy the Queen's gestures in respect. The twins imitated perfectly, showing both trust and understanding. The Queen extended her hand slightly, signaling for Liam to approach. He stepped forward cautiously, bowing his head in respect. "You have shown me that humans can possess extraordinary qualities," she said. "Care, patience, and love are powerful. I wish to formally recognize your work." You will continue to guide Mira and Taro not only in play, but in learning and growth. You will have access to any resources you need within the palace. Liam's heart swelled. Recognition from the Queen was beyond anything he had imagined. His simple, daily acts of care and guidance had been acknowledged at the highest level. He bowed again, signing to the twins. This is a great honor. We will continue to learn and grow together. Myra and Taro clapped softly, their small faces glowing with joy. The Queen observed the twins with a thoughtful expression. They have learned much, yet they have more to discover, she said. With you guiding them, they will grow strong, intelligent, and compassionate. You are not just a janitor. You are a teacher, protector, and mentor. Your presence here is invaluable. Liam felt humbled. He had never thought of himself as important in the palace. All he had wanted was to protect and teach the twins. But now, the Queen's recognition confirmed what he had always known. Humans could achieve remarkable things through care, patience, and love. The twins, sensing the Queen's approval, laughed and clapped. They held Liam's hands and signed small gestures they had learned, showing their gratitude. Liam mirrored their gestures, and the Queen's smile widened. She had never seen such a bond between a human and her royal children. After a moment, the Queen stepped back and nodded. Continue your work, human. I will observe and support you. The palace is fortunate to have someone of your character guiding the royal twins. Liam bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will continue to guide them with care and patience. Mira and Taro waved their small hands, copying his respectful gestures. Liam laughed softly, proud of their understanding and maturity. With the Queen's presence fading down the corridor, the twins turned to Liam. More lessons? Mira signed eagerly. Taro nodded, bouncing in excitement. Liam smiled. Yes, there is always more to learn, and we will do it together. The twins followed him to a nearby courtyard filled with interactive learning devices and floating plants. Liam had prepared a small exercise to teach observation and problem-solving. He set up a series of floating crystals that moved slowly in the air. The twins had to balance them and guide them into specific positions using careful gestures. Mira focused intently, moving her hands slowly and precisely. Taro experimented more freely, testing different ways to guide the crystals. Liam observed and guided them gently, offering advice through gestures and expressions. The twins' eyes shone with concentration and delight. Palace staff peeked from nearby corridors, watching silently. Many were impressed by the twins' progress. Liam's patient guidance had transformed them from curious but uncertain children into confident learners. Staff whispered to each other. Realizing that the human janitor had accomplished what no royal tutor had managed in years, after successfully completing the exercise, the twins clapped and hugged Liam. He laughed softly, signing, "Well done. You both have learned so much today." Mira and Taro copied the gestures, proud of their achievements. Liam realized that these small lessons were building confidence, intelligence, and independence in the twins. As afternoon approached, Liam guided the twins to a quiet library within the palace. The library was filled with books, data crystals, and holographic displays from many worlds. Liam encouraged the twins to explore, observe, and learn at their own pace. Mira carefully examined illustrations of alien creatures, while Taro explored holographic landscapes. Liam guided them gently, helping them understand without forcing instructions. The Queen returned in the late afternoon, observing quietly from a distance. She noticed the twins' engagement, confidence, and the way Liam encouraged them without pressure. She stepped forward, her glowing robes brushing the polished floor. "You have exceeded my expectations once again," she said softly. "They are learning more each day under your guidance. You have earned respect, trust, and admiration. This palace is fortunate to have you." Am bowed humbly. "Your Majesty, I only wish to help them grow safely and happily. Their trust is my greatest reward." The Queen smiled, observing the twins' joyful faces. "You have proven that even a single human can make a profound difference. Care, patience, and love are more powerful than any technology or rule. Your work is invaluable. As evening fell, Liam led Mira and Taro back to their playroom. He tucked them into their soft beds, smiling at their peaceful expressions. Rest now. Tomorrow is another day of learning and adventure, he signed. The twins copied him, their small hands moving gracefully. After the twins fell asleep, Liam cleaned the final corridors and polished the floors. He paused, reflecting on the day. The Queen's recognition, the twins' progress, and the palace's admiration confirmed what he had always known. Humans could achieve extraordinary things through patience, understanding, and love. The palace, with all its grandeur, technology, and rules, could not match the warmth of care and attention. Liam had guided the twins safely, taught them patiently, and earned the respect of the highest authority. He had shown that a human could make a difference where others could not. As night fell over the palace, Liam looked at the stars through a tall window. He thought of the future, of lessons yet to be taught, and of adventures waiting to unfold. Mira and Taro were safe, happy, and confident. And he knew that with love, patience, and understanding, they would continue to grow into extraordinary beings. Liam walked quietly through the palace halls, feeling proud and grateful. He had proven that a human, no matter how ordinary in appearance, could accomplish greatness through care and dedication. The twins' trust and growth were his greatest achievements. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new lessons, and new opportunities to teach, guide, and protect. But Liam knew one thing for certain. No matter what the future held, his bond with Mira and Taro would remain unbreakable. And in that bond, the palace had found something it had never known before: the power of human patience, love, and understanding. The sun rose over the palace, casting warm golden light on the tall spires and glass walls. The palace was quiet in the early morning. Only a few servants moved along the long corridors, arranging holographic panels and cleaning floors. Among them, Liam, the human janitor, walked with a mop in one hand and a small bag in the other. He was not like the other palace staff. He did not wear shiny uniforms or carry a communicator. His clothes were simple and practical, and his hands were always busy. But his heart carried something no machine could match. Today was going to be another busy day for Liam. He had two little helpers waiting for him. Mira and Taro, the twin children of the alien queen, were unlike anyone else in the palace. They were clever, curious, and full of energy, but they had one challenge. They could not hear anything. The palace staff did not know how to help them. They spoke in complicated alien words, used strange devices, and often grew frustrated when the twins did not respond. Liam had learned early that patience and love could speak louder than any device. Liam pushed the heavy doors of the twins' playroom open. Bright colors filled the room, and strange shapes floated in midair. The twins were already awake, their small green eyes sparkling. Mira clutched a soft crystal that glowed gently in her hands. Taro rolled a small hovering ball across the floor, making it spin and bounce. The twins noticed Liam immediately and waved with their small hands. "Good morning, Myra." "Good morning, Taro," Liam said softly, kneeling to their level. He pointed to the small hand signals he had taught them. Mira and Taro copied his movements quickly, giggling as they did. Their laughter was soft, but full of life. Liam smiled. These tiny moments made every early morning worth it. "Let's get ready for the day," Liam said. He opened his bag and pulled out two small tablets. They were not the kind the palace tutors used. These were simple tools Liam had designed himself. On the screens, pictures appeared, images of food, clothing, and toys. He showed Mira the picture of breakfast. She pointed happily at the glowing fruit, and Liam nodded. He showed Taro the picture of the play area. Taro bounced on his small legs and clapped his hands. The twins moved through their morning routine with Liam's help. He guided Mira's tiny hands as she poured a glowing liquid from a cup into her bowl. He held Taro's hands as he brushed his hair. The twins listened in their own way, watching Liam's expressions, following his gestures, and learning without any frustration. Liam marveled at how quickly they learned. They were intelligent, eager, and brave. After breakfast, Liam carried the twins to the palace garden. The garden was vast, filled with plants from many planets. Some glowed in soft blues and purples. Some floated slightly above the ground. Birds with feathers like liquid crystals sang songs Liam could not hear. But the twins seemed to sense the music in their small movements. Mira ran toward a tall plant, with leaves that shimmered like mirrors. Taro followed her, holding a small stick in his hands, pretending it was a sword. Liam laughed quietly to himself and walked after them. He held his cleaning kit in one hand, ready for any spills, and a small bag of tools in the other. "Careful, Mira," Liam said, pointing to the plant's delicate leaves. Mira stopped and looked at him, nodding slowly. She lifted her hands and touched the soft leaves gently. Taro jumped in excitement and tapped a leaf with his stick. Liam guided his hands gently, showing him the right way to interact with the plants. The twins laughed, and their eyes sparkled with joy. Liam loved these moments. No palace staff could make the twins this happy. The officials tried, but they lacked patience. They only gave lessons, rules, and instructions. Liam gave attention, care, and understanding, and the twins responded. While the twins explored, Liam cleaned the paths and polished the crystal fountains. He moved quietly, never interrupting their play. He occasionally showed them small tricks, like balancing a floating crystal on his hand, or making the water ripple in a pattern. The twins clapped and tried to copy him. Liam chuckled and encouraged them. After some time, the twins grew tired. Mira yawned and rubbed her eyes. Taro sank down on a soft patch of grass. Liam knelt beside them and held a small tablet with pictures of the palace rooms. He pointed to the bedroom picture. Mira and Taro pointed back, showing they understood. Liam lifted them gently and carried them toward their room. As they walked, the palace staff watched silently. Some whispered to each other. They could not understand how a human janitor had such a strong bond with the royal children. He was not a tutor, not a royal official, but he had something no one else had. He had patience, kindness, and a way of speaking without words. Liam laid the twins down on soft beds. Mira held her glowing crystal close. Taro clutched his favorite toy ball. Liam pulled a small blanket over them. "Rest now. We have more adventures today," he signed with his hands. The twins copied his gestures and smiled. Liam kissed their foreheads gently, whispering, "I will be here when you wake." After tucking them in, Liam returned to his janitor duties. He moved through the palace, sweeping floors, polishing walls, and emptying trash. His movements were quiet, careful, and precise. Even in these tasks, he thought of the twins, wondering what games they would play next and what new things they would learn. Suddenly, a soft alarm rang in the palace. Liam paused. Nothing was dangerous, but the twins' playroom sensors had detected a small plant floating out of its designated area. Liam smiled. He knew exactly what had happened. Mira must have been curious and wanted to see the floating plant more closely. He ran back quickly, mopping the hallway as he went. When he arrived, he found Mira holding the plant and Taro, trying to catch it with his toy stick. Liam knelt and guided Mira's hands, showing her the right way to hold the plant without harming it. Taro watched closely and mimicked Liam's careful movements. Within minutes, the plant was back in its proper place. Mira and Taro looked at Liam with admiration and joy. Liam laughed softly. "You two are clever, but sometimes cleverness needs guidance," he signed. The twins copied his movements. Their small hands mirrored his gestures perfectly. Liam felt a warmth in his chest. These moments made every long day worthwhile. The twins' laughter echoed through the playroom, sound that carried more meaning than any words. Liam paused for a moment watching them. He thought about the life they were building together. They were not just his responsibilities, they were his family. Every giggle, every gesture, every moment of trust mattered more than anything else in the palace. Little did Liam know, her joy and his patience had not gone unnoticed. Somewhere in the palace, eyes watched quietly, observing the human who could connect with the alien children in ways no royal tutor ever could. A presence that could change everything was approaching. But Liam was focused only on Mira and Taro, unaware of the queen's footsteps coming closer. As the sun climbed higher, the palace filled with light. The twins played, learned, and laughed. Liam guided them patiently, showing the strength and heart of a human who never gave up on the ones he loved. The palace, with all its grandeur and technology, could not match the warmth of simple care, and in that quiet morning, the bond between human father and alien twins grew stronger than ever.